After 4 years of exclusively coaching high-profile and high-performing men, there's a serious dark side that nobody talks about and nobody understands. I've studied them, I've been hired by them, and I've dated them. These are the things that I've found. First thing is they are hyper-self-destructive. High-performing and high-profile men get so inundated with stress and the pressure to keep it all up that they start to self-implode. They aren't sure how to balance the stress, so they start to reach towards substances that they feel like are gonna help. Drinking too much, taking a Xanax, watching porn, sleeping with women, even just working more to try to balance the stress of working so much. They're trying to handle the stress, but do it with more stress-inducing activities because they simply don't know what else to do. The next aspect of the dark side is that they are constantly chasing a dopamine high. Every man who aspires to be a high performer starts off with an achievable goal. It may take 5, 10, 20 years to get there, but eventually he achieves it. Unfortunately, once he gets there, the dopamine runs out because he's no longer chasing anything. Since his entire identity was created around achieving this thing, it leaves him feeling very empty when there's nothing left to chase. This puts him on a hamster wheel where he never feels satisfied, and so he keeps seeking more and better. The more and better eventually becomes more risky and self-destructive. Which leads us to number 3, danger becomes fun. If they cannot achieve more and better, they will seek fulfillment through adrenaline-filled activities. This is just the continuation of trying to find fulfillment through external resources instead of turning inward. What his achievements can't give him, the excitement of danger does. A good fictional example of this would be James Bond or Ethan from Mission Impossible. They're constantly putting themselves in these situations where their lives are at risk, the stakes are higher and higher, but the reward is always higher as well. Eventually, the adrenaline-filled activities become self-destructive activities, and what was once a form of entertainment is now teetering on the edge of danger. Number 4, they lack a certain amount of empathy. It's unfortunate, but it's hard to get to a certain level of success when your main mission is caring about everyone around you. In order to get to a certain level, you have to put yourself first. It requires a level of neuroticism, lack of empathy, and a heightened ego. Does this mean they're narcissistic? No. Does it mean they don't care about anybody at all? No. But does it mean that they are probably going to put their own needs first? Yes. Does it mean that they have their vision first? Yes. Are they going to be the person in the family who everybody has to kind of champion around in order to make sure the goals are met? Likely, yes. This leads us straight into number 5, which is they are perfectionists. They care a great deal about aesthetics and getting things right. Their personal identity, their character, how they show up in the world, what they represent, and who represents them all matter. I've seen many clients put a lot of detail into the work they do, into the buildings they work on, into their own personal aesthetics, their style, the type of name brand clothes they wear. Even if people can't see the status, see the logo, it gives them a sense of pride to know that they have worked to craft themselves like a Michelangelo. The perfectionism goes beyond just wanting to be perfect and wanting to be good enough. It's a deep drive to want to reach the fullest potential that they have and to showcase that in every single aspect and area of their lives. And they will do the absolute most that they can do to make sure that they don't miss a single spot. Another dark side about high-performing and high-profile men is they are the best liars. They are charming, they are handsome, they are sweet, and they know how to make you believe them. This is the part of the video where I want to interject to remind you that high profile and high performing does not mean high value. If you're confused about that, please watch the YouTube video where I defined each one. You can be a high performer, you can be a high profile, you can even be a 1% and still have a lot of bad character traits and character values, but you cannot be a high value man. The men who have gotten into the high performing roles, the 1% roles, the high profile roles, they have adopted a persona of sales. Sales, in a way, is manipulating data to your advantage. It's understanding human psychology to a point where you can get the other person to agree with you, or you can find out how that other person already agrees with you and bring it out of them yourself. There's a certain amount of sales tactics and manipulation tactics that are embedded in you when you're a high performer that can start to spiral out of control, making these men some of the best liars around. There are a lot of men who don't do this on purpose, and then there are a lot of men who do it on purpose. They are the most dangerous men and the men you want to watch out for, and I will teach you about that in another video. On to number 7. This one really applies only to the high-performing, high-profile clients who have surpassed their ability to handle the lifestyle. So they are already deep into addiction, stress, they haven't handled their mental health, they have gone off the deep end. This one applies to those men because it's leaning more towards the narcissistic character traits, which is they thrive on being caught. The thing to understand is when you have all the money in the world, you have all the available women that you want, you can have any experience that you want, you thrive on a challenge, you thrive on something that's gonna make you tick. For a man that has everything, his new kink becomes getting caught. This is why a lot of these clients tend to hire me as a coach, because to be understood is teetering on the edge of being caught. This is the ultimate kink for people who usually get away with everything, who have people sucking up to them, making excuses for them. They don't want people to make excuses for them. They want to be told off. They want somebody to show them a mirror. Nobody likes to go against a moral code intrinsically. We all need guidance. We all want to go down the correct path. So when you get down this lifestyle where suddenly you are creating the correct path and you're going totally off and you're into a world that you don't even understand as reality, getting caught by somebody showing you that they understand who you are and how you operate is the ultimate win. Even you will be able to understand and spot this person because they will say something just slightly off-putting. They'll say something that doesn't quite align with the story that they said before. They'll have a slight smirk when you confront them about something that earlier they lied about. They're always giving away little hints, not because they're sloppy, but because it's a purposeful nugget for them to get caught. Then when things get chaotic and start to fall apart, you see that they no longer panic, but they have an internal sense of entertainment. This is what they've lived for. This is what they've been waiting for, and this is what they've wanted. Number 8, they tend to hate people. They tend to hate people not because they actually hate people, but because people tend to hate them. They are suddenly seen in society as a parasite, someone who doesn't give enough, has too much given to them, had life on a silver spoon, got lucky. Everything that they've worked for has been totally disregarded, and everybody has an opinion about how they should spend their money, how they should spend their time, how they should show up in the world. So the fact that everybody rejects them makes them reject everybody else. Which leads us to number 9. They usually feel incredibly lonely and have a large dislike for their lives. Imagine working hard your whole life to achieve this dream, and you're already suffering on the way up because you're giving up salary, you're sacrificing relationships and friendships, you don't have a sense of self anymore, and then you get to the thing and you get everything that you wanted, but your friends aren't there, your family's not there, strangers hate you, there's nobody at the top waiting for you. Suddenly people are asking you for favors and money when they didn't help build you up. People are using you, nobody's trustworthy, and the second that you want to complain about something or say something or even give back, you gave to the wrong charity. You did something wrong. Your entire past is used against you. You can't make a single mistake, not a single error. If you even so much as think of speaking a single cent of your mind, you'll be canceled. And then everything that you worked for, the 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years of work, 30 years of reputation, 30 years of tears, sweat, blood, sacrifices, will all be gone because you said one thing on Twitter in 2007. So they really start to hate their lives and resent the fact that they became successful because they feel like they have nothing to show for it. They create a mask of themselves, abandon their sense of self. They can no longer be vulnerable, no longer have deep relationship, and then the entire hamster wheel from 1 through 9 starts all over again. This is their villain origin story. Man works hard, man becomes incredibly successful, man finds himself abandoned by friends, family, and society, man becomes self-destructive, man abandons himself, everybody abandons man at his lowest point, and the whole thing starts all over again. This is the dark side to high-performing, high-profile men that nobody talks about and nobody wants to acknowledge. Women have huge support systems, men do not. And then we wonder why men become so destructive, because they're so powerful and they have nowhere else to turn. If you can resonate with any of this, you might be panicking because you feel like there's no way out. But I can promise you, if there's a dark side, there's a light side. And this is something that I coach my clients through all the time. If you are someone who feels like you're resonating and you want a one-on-one customized plan to help you get out of that hamster wheel, make sure to click the link below to schedule a clarity call and we'll get you on your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.